Hey guys, so now that we've learned about arrays in Java, let's do some problems with them. So head on over to CodingBat, and this time we're going to go to array 1, and let's do swap ends. Alright, so given an array of ints, swap the first and last elements in the array. Return the modified array. The array length will be at least 1. So here we have an example. 1 and 4 are swapped, so our modified array has the last element in the first position and the first element in the last position. Cool, so the array we're working with is right here. It's an int array with the variable name nums. So remember that if you want to access a position in the array, you use the name of the array, square brackets, and then whatever position. So to access the first element, we put 0. And now we want to assign it a new value. So we're going to assign it the last element in the array, right? Now, this array can have any length, right? It can have a length of 4, 3, 5, whatever. So we can't just put a number in there. But we do know that the position of the last element in the array is the total length of the array minus 1, right? Since indexing starts from 0. So we can put that in. We can say nums.length minus 1. And then similarly, we want the last element in the array to have a value of the first element in the array. And now it wants us to return the modified array, and we just modified nums, so we're just going to do return nums. And remember, we'll go over this return keyword later on in the series, but just for now, it's basically like whatever the final thing it's asking for, which in this case is the modified array. You type return and then whatever it's asking for. But when we run this, it doesn't work. Let's look at why. Now, what's happening here is they both have the same value. The first element and the last element have the same value. And why is that? Well, that's because here, when we're giving the first position in the array, we're reassigning it a value. We're saying, okay, the first position in the array is now going to equal the last one. So let's say at this point, when we started our array, let's use this example, right? When we started, our array was 1, 2, 3, 4. After this statement, after this first statement, now our array looks like this, right? Because we just said the first element is now going to equal the last element. So it became 4, 2, 3, 4. But then now here we're saying the last element is going to equal the first element. Except now the first element is also 4. So basically nothing really happens and our array remains as 4, 2, 3, 4. And we essentially lost the first element in the array. So before we do any swapping, what we have to do is store either the first element or the last element in a temporary variable, right? So we know that our type of array is int. So we can have like an int temp. And we can say this is going to equal the whatever values in the first position of the array. That way, instead of putting nums 0, we put temp. So let's see what's happening here. We're starting with our 1, 2, 3, 4 array. And then we're saying, okay, whatever is at the first position, store that in the variable temp, right? So in this case, temp is equal to 1. Okay, so now we're saying, all right, the first position is going to equal the last position, so it's going to be 4, 2, 3, 4. But now we're saying the last position is going to equal temp, and temp has a value of 1, so it'll actually become like this, and that's what we want. So when we run this, we'll see that it's all correct. Cool, I'll see you guys in the